Okay, this is Aaron again with Exalted Lamb 1, and I have my episode 6 here for you. And I want to be sure to thank the people that have donated to me here from what I put the link up to PayPal, the last video, episode 5. I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart, and my family thanks you as well, because I just have been able to spend more time specifically on these things, this research, putting the things together, doing this video, especially this video since the last one, of course. So thank you so much. I can't even tell you how much thanks I want to give you and express. So yeah, I don't want to spend a lot of time thanking you on the video, get to the information here, but thank you so much. And the whole point is that I can spend more time getting this stuff together and get it out for you as fast as possible. So I'm going to put a link up one more time for this video. If there's any way you can support me through this PayPal in any way, I appreciate it. Then I can definitely spend all the time I need to on these and get these out as soon as possible, because I have another 6-7 episodes that I can put out. Although after this one, I'm probably going to go right into a couple different parts of iPad Goat 2. Excuse me. So they're going to be absolutely huge, as well as, there's some big stuff in this as well. And I'm going to break a new day that I'm going to talk about, okay, that I haven't really talked about because I didn't have all the stuff together yet until now. So, and I don't even have it all to share with you on this video. I'm going to really lay it out for you the next video. And I wasn't sure that I was going to get into it this time, but at the end of this, towards the end of this video, there's some stuff I really need to share about this. So anyway, without further ado, let me get into some of the details. So what I'm talking about, and recap what I've talked about in all these different episodes. And if you haven't watched them, please watch episode 1 through 5, because there's a lot of great information about these attack days. And a lot of people have these different days they think might be and everything. Only one day or one time frame, which one day that starts everything, or one time frame with multiple attack days will be the answer to all these different clues. So I believe I found the answer. But again, I'm speculating. This is a theory so far, but so far everything that I've ever done is coordinating with these times, and it's pretty crazy. And if you really look and have your mind open to these facts and these details, you'll see that as well. I'm pretty confident. So, but the proof is in the pudding. With this next date, I'm going to reveal to you today with this video. That'll be the first thing, and if this happens on that day, it's pretty much confirming the next few days and what's going to happen. So I'll get into all that. Okay, so I want to cover 2019 and why 2019. Over the last year and almost 3 months, people have asked me why 2019, and people have said stuff like 2020, 21, 2023, 2044. I mean, every kind of year you can think of, and I'm like, 2044, there's no way. I mean, 2020 I can understand a little bit more, even though it doesn't make a lot of sense to me in a lot of things that I know and understand. So I'm going to lay out to you why 19 is still the year, okay? 19 is also 61, upside down and backwards. I'm going to talk about that as well and give you some examples of that. Now, the number 19 in numerology represents the beginning or closing of a season of time. The number 19, which is the combining of 10 and 9, usually denotes God's perfect order in regard to his judgment in the Bible. Now, of course, there is godly and biblical numerology, which is, God created all numbers, and everything has a number value to it. Words, everything, in science and everything is numbers. Everything is numbers. You probably heard of math as the universal language, or mathematics. Okay, so it's true, and there's nothing bad about any numbers. Okay, and even God uses codes in the Bible in many ways. Okay, but the enemy uses his numbers for evil, and that would be considered divination and astrology and just all kinds of stuff that he uses these for. So I'm giving you a biblical example of what 19 is. Then I'm going to show you what the enemy's version of 19 is. So 19 ends up being just physically, it's a centered triangular number. So when you see all these dots here, there's 19 of them, and it ends up being there are triangular numbers, but this is a centered triangular number, where the 19th one you could say in a sense is in the center. So, and then there, as you can see, maybe with the yellow, the green, and the blue, those are different triangles. Okay, and you have 369, which actually has to do with the secret science, Tesla's secret science. I can get into all that. There's so much I could get into. The 369. Oh man, there's so many things. But what I will show you is that 19 is very important to them, because look at the center triangular number. The 19 is in the center, which is very important. Okay, and I really believe the world started with tetrahedrons, which are in a sense a triangular. Basically, it's a four-sided triangle, basically. Okay, so anyway, so this is very important to them in so many ways. 19, I want to show you the symbolism from God's perspective, and also from the enemy's perspective, is extremely important. Okay, so and like I mentioned before, 19 is also in a way I-9. And again, I, as in what you see out of, versus I, the letter, is also 9. And look at the blue dots around the edge of the outside triangle. There are 9 of those, and then inside the middle is the eye, or the letter I, or the seeing eye. Okay, and so it's a play on words. It's English. It's it's designed to be many meanings for different things, sounds and the look and everything. So 19 is also, in numerology, the number 19 is both a starter and a finisher, because it has 1, which is the first number, and then 9, which is the last single digit number. Okay, because 1 through 9 make all numbers, of course. And they don't consider 0 in there because it's not technically a value. Okay, so it's a beginning and an end, and that's would be very fitting for 2019 to be a beginning of the new age, or the next time frame, okay, the next age or eon or whatever you want to say, and then the end of the old age or eon or time frame. Okay, so that's why 19. So many reasons why 19 is so important. And I believe that the reason why we're on 2019 right now, and it is the year, is because they planned it this way to end on 19. Okay, and so in their Kabbalah, the evil Luciferian global elites, okay, they believe the number 19 is the number of spiritual activity in Kabbalah. Okay, the tarot number 19 is the sun. All great things are associated with the sun in their minds. I don't use any of this stuff. I believe in the God and Bible and Jesus Christ, okay, who I follow, and who Jesus has given me these insights about how they do things and what they believe. Okay, it's a very auspicious card in their tarot cards, because their main focus is the sun. It's the sun god, basically. Okay, so 19 is extremely important to them. And now I want to talk about what I shared with you in, I think it was episode 1, about the Economist Magazine 2018, the Economist Magazine cover. And so these little icons that are all listed in grid pattern, if you haven't watched it, watch that video, episode 1, so then you get an idea of what I'm talking about. But anyway, these little icons end up equaling, that's the Golden Gate Bridge, but it's in a different color, just throw people off, 118, and then the Golden Gate Bridge, which is, the Statue of Liberty, which is on the other side of the United States, on the East Coast. So we got a West Coast attack point and an East Coast. So basically just representing the coasts, 118. So these are both attack codes for each coast, twin attack codes. It's the twin births of the Antichrist and the man-child into heaven, twin attacks. Like in World War II, there were twin nuclear bombs. There's all these twin things, and so many things I've shared. And then, of course, the meteor that's coming down to basically possibly start this tsunami wave is what I'm seeing is coded as 118 as well. So if you haven't watched that episode, my episodes, watch 1 through 5. And 1 covers that in the Economist Magazine 2017, 2018, and 2019. Okay, so on evidence of that, NASA asteroid warning, behemoth space rock threatens Earth next month. Okay, and this is really crazy because, right here, it literally shows you the final destruction day of the United States, as well as having other things in all their text and everything. I'm going to show you. But backwards, that is 2311, so the 23rd of November. And so, like I've said, they have all these codes that are in these things, and then in the midst of these articles are many other codes. Okay, and I'm going to show you all the codes in this article. There's maybe probably even more things than I can even see. Okay. According to a report, the asteroid with code name, and I'm not going to say the whole thing, right, would be nearest to Earth on November 21st. I mean, are you kidding me? I've been talking about this for the last month and a half, and November 21st, 22nd, 23rd, like I showed at the beginning of this video, and I said it starts on the 23rd. Okay, it's the east and west coast. So west coast is 21st, east coast is the 22nd. What's alarming is that the asteroid is classified as an Apollo, which is considered to be the most dangerous class of space rock that's set to cross the Earth's orbit. Now, it's interesting that they would say Apollo, of course. You know, this is what is alarming. It's funny that they would say what's alarming. So they actually pointed to this because Apollo is Apollyon, which is, you know, it's in Revelation 9 in the Bible. It talks about Apollyon coming from the bottomless pit, and that's what I've been talking about. And basically, it is where Hawaii is, and it will be opened up, and Hawaii will be destroyed, and these things will come out of this pit. Okay, and it's Apollyon, which is Apollo. Okay, and by the way, in the center of CERN, where CERN is on the border of France and Switzerland, underneath the ground, right in the center of this huge circle, this Large Hadron Collider that's underneath the ground, right in the center is where the old, basically temple of Apollo used to be, where they worshipped Apollo, right at the exact center of CERN, which is not a coincidence because it represents on another side of the Earth, or whatever, however you want to look at it, where they're going to open up the pit. But they did worship from there in Europe at a temple they worshipped Apollo. Okay, and then it's crazy. They keep saying space rock. Okay, there's a reason why they're saying that instead of meteorite. Okay, so or meteor or whatever, right? Space rock. There's a reason why they're saying that. The asteroid's path is too close for comfort and can actually change course and bring it closer to the planet. If things get worse, it can cause damage that's similar to the Yarkovsky effect. Now, this is really strange because they're now talking about what they're saying in here is that it could just it's dangerous because it could change course at any time. So they really never said this too much about these. And I've been following these meteors and stuff. They have never really said this before. They mentioned this class because of the size and everything, and they're going to talk more about this. So this is bizarre because they're basically putting in there that it could basically change course and it could hit Earth. Okay, according to the report, the Yarkovsky effect is when the soft force of sunlight can steer asteroids into Earth-crossing orbits and drastically alter the layout of their paths across the solar system. So they're basically saying that this thing could basically hit Earth without saying it, okay? In theory, asteroids that are longer than 35 meters across can already pose a significant threat to a town or city. So at 650 meter diameter, the blankety blank can be considered a major problem should the asteroid change its course. As it is, the asteroid has not yet been categorized under the Torino Impact Hazard Scale. Okay, so several things stuck out for me in this article immediately when I read this. There was some weird verbiage. There's some gematria phrases that just stuck out for me right away. And as I studied them and looked at them and put them in the gematria or gematria calculator, it confirmed what I thought. So, but first I'm going to show you here the 35 meters and then the 650 meter are there for a reason. So 3 plus 5 is 8. 6 plus 5 is 11. You don't add the 0, or you don't count the 0. It's 811 or 118. Like I said, I showed you the codes for those attack coasts, east and west coast, or 118 or 811. Okay, and 811 represents the final attack day, which is 11/23, because 811 is August 11th, which is the 223rd day of the year, 223, and the first two breaks down into 1 and 1, which is decompressed, and that so 1123 is 223, which is the 223rd day of the year. Okay, so and then the 118 and the 118 add up to 236, which is another way of saying 236 is upside down. 239 or 923. Anyway, so I'm going to show you that to you more. But look here, Torino Impact Hazard Scale, which is, look at the last 4 and the 5. 4 plus 5 is 9. And then you have the 12, and then you read it backwards, 921. Again, it's the 9th month that they see as the 11th month, which is Novem, which is Latin for November. And so Novem in Latin means 9, not 11. And so it contained in the month of November is Novem, which is 9, and then we know November as 11, so it is 9/11 contained in the actual name of November, okay? And they consider it the 9th month, the elites. So here it is popping up again, and look at all my videos if you haven't seen them. I show all this evidence that 923, 921, 922, those are all really 1121, 1122, and 1123, okay? And then the Yarkovsky effect. They made these names up. I'm telling you, and I'm showing you this right now. They made these names up, so they're going to hit this for this time. And then look, you have 1 and 8. And if you continue to compress numbers from the original gematria, this is Jewish gematria in both cases, 1 plus 8 is 9, and 6 plus 6 is 12. So both of these have just a different version of 921. So you read 912 backwards, it's 21st of the 9th month. So it just keeps going and going and going. Now look at this long code for this space rock, they call it, instead of a meteorite or meteor or whatever. Now let's break it down. So if you take, again, you take here, 4 plus 8 plus 1 is 13. 3 plus 9 plus 4 is 16. 2, and don't add, the zeros don't matter. 2 plus 6 is 8. S is the 19th letter of the alphabet. F is the 6th letter, and then we have 6. So we drop that down. Okay, now go to the next thing. Okay, of course, 1 plus 3 is 4. 1 plus 6 is 7. 8 drops down. 1 plus 9 is 10, but we remove the 0, so that becomes 1. 6 plus 6 is 12. Let's go to the next one. Again, we're compressing numbers here. And then we have, wow, what a surprise. What a shock. Can you believe this? It's 1121. Again, it proves my point that it not just, you don't have to take my word for it that November is 9, or 9 is November, or either or. 11 is right here again, 1121. In the name or the model of this meteorite is the actual attack day. It's really crazy. Okay, I'm giving you more and more evidence of this crazy stuff that's impossible. And then check this out: Behemoth space rock threatens Earth. And I immediately knew this was a crazy thing. I mean, Behemoth space rock. It sounds like gematria. It really does. And then look, immediately you can see, without me showing you anything else, 923 backwards. And again, 9 is 11, so it's 1123, the final attack day. And then here we go again. Behemoth space rock threatens Earth next month. Again, they know how to put this together because demons are behind these people that are doing this. And they're the master intelligences that know this. Or you could also use these days AI, and then AI could figure it out for you. But demons run through this whole thing for hundreds and thousands of years to get it to this point. And so now look here, down here. So you have the 2, and then the 7 plus 7 plus 2 is 16. So we have the 216 again. Now the 216 is what I've shared about Barack Obama's birthday. It's 216, which again, these events will hearken his birth, okay, on different days, okay. The 21st is very important. Actually, all these attack days I mentioned are his birth. It just depends on the time zone and what event we're talking about, okay? And then also I had a dream. My most recent dream from the Lord Jesus was there was a huge 216 in the air, kind of right in front of me. And then Jesus he was like sitting down. He stood up, come over to it, came up to the 6. It was really big in the air, right? Probably like 6 feet high. Not much higher than me, but there's a huge 6, and he took his finger and he spun the 6, and it became a 9. And he said 216 is 219. And so anyway, he spun the 6, and it became a 9 after it stopped. And then so 219 is 21st of the 9th month. And so again, that's another version of Barack Obama's birthday. His birthday is August 4th, which is the 216th day of the year, which also represents 219 because 6 is upside down. Again, they do things upside down or backwards or both. And then here, this is crazy. Earlier this year, on February 23rd, Warren Buffett warns of natural or human-made mega catastrophe and says our losses will be huge. Natural or man-made. Talk about hinting to something. Are you kidding me? And he said it this year, so it means it's going to be this year. I mean, that's what it says to me. Okay, it's going to be this year. Plus, look at the date. February 23rd is 223. And again, the year is also encoded the tack day. That's why it's this year. So it's 21-9 or 921. And if you look at 9 or 2019 backwards, it's 9 and then the 21st day of the 9th month. And then it ends up being, of course, 1:52 p.m., which is 8. And they're all about the 8. And 8 is a symbol for infinity. And so they believe at this time they're going to go into infinity, which is, you know, they're going to live forever with the mark of the beast. So, and they show that in 8, 8, 8, and 888. And I'm going to show more of that to you as well. And look at this person, so-called person. If this is even a real person, I doubt it. But even if it is a real journalist, it's Aaron Brodwin. Okay, look at this person's name. Her name, it should be a female. My name is Aaron, not Erin. I don't think I've ever seen a male named Erin. But so anyway, whatever. Jewish gematria is again 1219, which backwards is 921, 9/21 backwards. And again, I've showed this thousands of times. One can be a 1 in their numerology or a slash, or both. So, and then look down here in English gematria. We have the 8 and the 6 and 786. 8 and 6 is 14. So we have 714 really. And then 14 is really 7 plus 7. So 786 is just another way of doing 777. You know, like I said, they hide things in so many ways. And again, also the transition is spiritual perfection is 7. Or their idea of perfection is, you know, they're ripping off God's number of 7, of course. But they do 7, 7, 7, or 7, 7, 7. So they really like the 8s and the 7s. I mean, they really like the 6s as well, but, you know, there's certain things that they key in on these messages that they have hidden. Okay, I want to also touch on the Bulletin of the Atomic Scientists and their statement that they do every so often. And it's completely designed for more predictive programming. Okay, they're motivated, they're moved by demons and by the powers that be. And so they're going to have their messaging and all this stuff. And you got to already assume this. When you're looking at any of this stuff that's out there in the media, whatever, scientists, yeah, right. I mean, we saw that with the NASA space rock. I mean, every bit of its, gematria, every bit of its contrived, every bit of its lies. You know, NASA, it really means Nasha, which means something like secret or something, or something bad. Anyway. It means several things, actually. But let's take a look at this. So they did an announcement early this year. I'm going to talk about that in a second. 2019 Doomsday Clock Statement, the Science and Security Board, Bulletin of Atomic Scientists. So as the Bulletin Scientists and Security Board prepared for its first set of Doomsday Clock discussions this fall, it began referring to the current world security situation as a new abnormal. And again, in quotes. So a lot of times when they do articles with things in quotes, that's gematria. This new abnormal, so-called new abnormal in quotes, is a pernicious and dangerous departure from the time when the United States sought a leadership role in designing and supporting global agreements that advance a safer and healthier planet. All right, anyway, so new abnormal, because that's in quotes, it is gematria, okay? And so here it is, 1169. Now, I got to say something about 9, okay? When you put a letter or a number by 9, you add anything to 9, it equals that same number. So let's just say in this example you have 6 and 9. When you add 6 to 9, of course you get 15, and then 1 and 5 is 6. So it ends up being 6 again. So anything you add to 9, you just might as well cancel out the 9, because whatever you add to 9, it stays the same. Just the way these numbers work. It's very bizarre how this works exactly. I mean, basically, it adds one more. It'd be like adding one more digit, but then taking it away. So you go back to the actual number. So in this situation, 1169 is really 116, which is upside down and backwards 911. Then we have it in simple gematria, which is of course right direct to the point, 118. Okay, like I said, those are attack days. And we're talking about the attack days, the separate attack days on the 11/21, 11/22. And that's what this is showing. This whole thing is concocted to show you all the attack days. And I'm going to show you that. So, also, really quick, so new abnormals also equal in simple gematria to the storm. And I've said this before in previous videos. Basically, Trump said that, this represents the calm before the storm. And so he was talking about the storm, which is 118. And then people were asking, what are you talking about? That's weird. What are you talking about? He goes, you'll see. You'll see. Anyway, so, and that's not a coincidence because Trump's name in many ways fits these things. So Donald J. Trump is 1189. Now, remember what I said about 9. Anything right next to it is basically the same number. So you can basically just take off 9. So it's 118. And Donald J. Trump just happens to match the storm. And Donald J. Trump in English gematria is 888. If you didn't know this already, it's pretty crazy. And so let's get into more. And then, of course, the storm, or Donald J. Trump, is 118. Okay, and like I've shared this before as well, 118, another way of looking at it is 11 times 8, which is 88. Okay, and this is a code. 118 is an attack code. And same way, there's 2 codes they use, 118 and 1118. And they're in a many things. Okay. Another one is 1113 and 113, and I'm going to show you that, but they all equal still 118 and 1118. Okay, so but 11 times 8 is 88, and then Trump, just the name Trump by itself equals 88. So again, here's Trump matching the storm again. Okay, and then let's talk about 7s now. Okay, Trump is not only the 8s, but he's also the 7s. So here is Trump's birthday, June 14th, 1946, right here, June 14, 1946, to the day he was inaugurated, January 20th, 2017. Some of you that don't think that Trump was designed to be the president, this is all smoke and mirrors, and this is all coordinated by the global Luciferian elites. Wake up and smell the coffee, or I like to say, wake up and smell the brimstone, because it's burning around you right now. It's the end times. Wake up. So from his birthday to his day of his inauguration, 70 years, 7 months, and 7 days. That is pretty much impossible because it's 777. Okay, if anything, it's a massive freak coincidence, and then you add all these other things, make it absolutely impossible. What I've just showed you so far. I mean, look at how Trump equals the storm in so many different ways, and 888 and 777. And to tee that up, let me show you this. So here you go. From when he said, this represents, and here's a picture of him with these military people and their family and their wives. And he said right there, this represents the calm before the storm. And like, what do you mean, Mr. President? Oh, you'll see. Oh, Mr. President, what do you mean? What do you mean? They're all freaking out. What do you mean, calm before the storm? What storm? What are you talking about? Oh, you'll see. And he's all smiling, really freakishly, oddly, cryptically saying this. So that was the day he said it, October 5th, 2017. To the first attack day I've been saying for a month and a half, is 777 days. We already have a precedent of 777 from when he was born to when he became president, inaugurated president. I mean, give me a break. Do you not see this? Hopefully you're awake, but here's more. 777 days also equals 1118880 minutes. Are you kidding me? 1,118,880 minutes. I mean, you can break those up into individual things. You can break it up to 1,118, 1,118,000. So it's 1118. Or you can break it down into hundreds, thousands of minutes. I mean, this is crazy. But look at this. And then hours. I'm not going to get into hours right now. But then here's the days. And then weeks is 111. Now let's go back to Donald Trump again. Donald John Trump is 111, and then we don't count the zero, so it kind of matches the amount of weeks from when he said it to the actual attack days, I'm saying, and then it kind of matches the first 3 ones in the minutes. And then here we go again. Donald J. Trump, like I said before, was 888. So between his Donald John Trump and Donald J. Trump, it adds up to the minutes. And then check this out again. We got President Trump, which is 1188. I mean, does that match anything? I mean, do you not see this? I think I'm bringing the evidence for all this stuff to match from these two sections of slides I'm talking about is impossible. For his name to match all this and to be 777 and 888 and all this, it's impossible. So hopefully you're awake and can see this, because you should be very concerned and you should go to Jesus because he's your only answer, because this is all contrived. None of this is natural. None of this is organic. It's all contrived and planned by the elites who run both sides. Okay, that's why the Masons have a checkerboard floor in all their Masonic temples, because they run the dark and the light, the fake light and the fake dark. I mean, they basically run both, and they're the real dark that runs behind the scenes. They're the ones doing the real stuff behind the scenes, where they get everybody fighting, countries fighting back and forth, Republican, Democrat, liberal, conservative, every kind of, dichotomy you can think of, fighting each other while they're behind the scenes making it all happen and getting ready to put the whole world in chains. And if you don't follow their way, behead you. Okay, so here's another part of that ad for the atomic scientists. A new abnormal. It is still 2 minutes to midnight, and that's their phrase, 2 minutes to midnight. But I want to point out another way they do it is a new abnormal. So they said, in quotes, new abnormal, but then a new abnormal. And so I thought, is that gematria too? Yes, it is. Of course it is. So they got to do it a different way. So this is how planned and meticulous this stuff is, because they can literally have, like I showed you, that whole phrase of behemoth space rock, and then behemoth space rock threatens Earth, and then behemoth space rock threatens Earth next month. And you can even have sections of phrases and things and whole sections that relate to each other, and they're all the same message or one word or whatever. It's just crazy. So a new abnormal is 117. You remove the zero because it doesn't matter to them. And that is the 11th day, the 7th month, which is actually August 11th. So if you go 11 days and 7 months into a year, it ends up being August 11th. It's crazy. And then a new abnormal as well in English gematria is 714. When again, 14 is 7 plus 7, so you have 777. And then a new abnormal in simple gematria is simply 911 backwards. I mean, are you kidding me? Am I showing you so much stuff? I am. It is crazy. And then when they came out with this whole statement and this whole all this information, it was on the 24th of January. Okay, so 2 plus 4 is 6, and January is the first month, 1. So you have 61, like I showed you before. And 61 is upside down and backwards. It's a code for 19. And so they're showing you this is 2019. This is going to happen. This is a warning coded of 2019. It just is, believe it or not. And then it is 2 minutes to midnight, as they say. Now, there's a couple things with this that struck me right away. Now, one of them is 2 is not spelled. It's just number 2. And this whole thing is just showing 2. Now, normally, proper grammar, you'd spell it out typically. But if you want to make a point, then you'd make it a number 2 instead of TWO. Plus, it's gematria. Of course it is. So they're going to do it a certain way to hide it. And then also 2, as the number 2, as I'm seeing highlighted here, is also sounds like 2, T-O. Again, this is the trick they use with English, because things sound the same, things look the same. An I looks like a 1, or an L, small L, things like that, like I've mentioned before. Or a 2 sounds like a 2, which sounds like a 2, which sounds like a 2. I mean, whatever those mean, okay? But 2 and 2 equal 2. So they're pointing to the day. The attack day is the 22nd. Okay, another way of looking at this is, let's take the 2 out, because 2 is already a number, but gematria hides the numbers in letters, okay, as far as their practice is. So we're looking at minutes to midnight without using the 2. Minutes to midnight in simple gematria is 220. So then let's add this 2 that we didn't put in there to it, without even trying to it, to 2 also, 222, which again is 1122, because the first 2 is really compressed. And you can look at it this way. If they're planning an attack day on 1122, the easiest way to hide it is add the 2 11 or the 11 together as two ones and make it a 2. So you have 222 versus 1122. And I'm showing you both ways that they do this. I'm not just saying, hey, you just gotta just believe on faith that they're actually compressing 1 and 1 and making it 2 or whatever. I'm showing you they even reveal the 11 all over the place, and the 9 being the 11, usually in the same artwork and the same concept that they're revealing out. And I'm going to show you that here as well. And then we have this clock here. Look at this clock. That's 1/4 of a clock. You're seeing 1/4 of a clock. There's a reason for that. Again, this is all contrived. This is all designed. It's not a chance, and I'm going to show you that it's not chance. Okay, so there's the quarter of the clock that they're showing you. Okay, and of course it's 2 minutes to midnight, right? Well, they're not showing you this section of the clock because it's really, they're showing you this quarter because they're mirroring another quarter. Okay, and so you go across, and now look at this quarter right here. What is this saying with the hands on the clock? It's saying 12:02. Okay, and then backwards, 12:02 is 221. Well, I just showed you they were saying 222. Well, here's 221, which is 1121 coded, right? Okay, well now, but this is a quarter of a clock. So just like I showed you in, if you watched my episode 1, if you see Economist Magazine 2018, I showed that what corner they start with on one side of the grid, they start on the opposite corner. So if they start on top left corner, they're going to go and reflect the bottom right corner. So this is the top left corner of a clock, so they're really reflecting the bottom right corner of the clock. So let's look at the bottom right corner, what it actually says. It says 6:28. Well, there's a couple things that this is, because these are multi-dimensional, the things that they're multi-layered, the things that they do. These are multi-layered, multi-dimensional messages that they're showing people, predictively programming people. It's hidden in plain sight to move you somehow. It's really crazy how they do this stuff. And then, so 6 plus 2 is 8, and then we have an 8, which is the 88. And just like on my last episode, you know, Marty McFly had to get up to 88 miles an hour in the DeLorean, and sometimes with Doc, to get to the next time period. Okay, just like we're going to get from this time period to the next one, or this age to the next age at the 88. Okay, and 88 also represents the box within a box, and or a cube within a cube, and a cube has 8 points within a cube has 8 points, so it's 88. And they're trying to, and typically a cube is represented by the physical world, and then inside that cube is another cube, which is the spiritual world inside the physical world, or vice versa in a way. So they want to break out of the prison of the cube, which is our world, okay? And then so it also is 2 plus 8 is 1, or 10. 2 plus 8 is 10, then you have 6, 1. Okay, that's another thing, the big thing they're saying here is the 61. Now, what did I show you in the beginning of this video? 61 upside down and backwards is really 19. Okay, so we have sections here. We have this section, which is the mirror to the right of it, which is 221. And then we have the mirror, the top left and the bottom right mirror. And you put those together and you have 11, 21, 19. Imagine that. Isn't that crazy? Okay, not crazy. Now, but hold on. I didn't get into, so how do we know it's 221? Like I said, it'll show it in using the material that I'm talking about, that 221 is actually not just the second month and the 21st day, that is the 11th month. Well, we're going to find 11 right in here. The mirror of this top left quarter is the bottom left quarter. Okay, is the mirror also. I showed you the right quarter, the right top quarter, and the bottom left quarter. Now we're going to show you the mirror, the bottom left corner mirror, whatever. Okay, so that equals 632. The mirror to this first one is 632. What is 632? Like I've shared before many times, it's 118 plus 118, representing both coasts, both attack codes, like I showed you in the very beginning of this video. Excuse me, my throat. I showed you in the beginning of this video. It's dry because it's snowing and stuff, and it's really dry out here right now. Okay, it's crazy, and so I always have something going on in my throat because I'm talking quite a bit. I mean, it really wrenches on my throat here. Anyway, we have 118 and 118. Like I showed you in the beginning, it's the attack code for the Golden Gate Bridge, for example. It's just a symbol, and then that's the West Coast, and the attack code for the Statue of Liberty on the East Coast. So 118 plus 118 is 236, and 632 is backwards 236. Okay, there you go. Also, which is, of course, 118 and 118 represent 1121 and 1122, like I've mentioned and showed many ways, many times in my videos. Okay, also, 222 or 1122 ends up being, which I haven't really talked about much here, but I'm really laying it out right now. 1122 is the 326th day of the year, which is 623 backwards, 623. And of course, the top one up there, this one right here, in a way is looking at it's the 20. Can I do this? Well, it's not gonna let me. I don't know why. But anyways, 326th day of the year, which is another version of 623 or 236. Hopefully you get this. Okay, and then 6 plus 3 plus 2 in 632 is 11. So that's what it's showing. It's showing your. Now check this out. So that anyway, I already showed you. It was showing you the 21st. It was showing you 19, and it's showing you 11. So it's 11, 21, 19 is what it's showing you. Now let's go back to the original quadrant, original quarter of this clock, which was 2 minutes to midnight, which is 11:58. There's more codes than even the original one. Okay, we put all together, and that was going to show you the code as well, which is 1113. So 5 plus 8 is 13, and you have the original 11 or 11. So that's 1113. So add the ones together, you get 3, and then you have a 3. So it's 33. Again, these are the Masons that are typically behind most of this stuff, that are, that are in leadership and stuff, and these, atomic scientists, right? They're moved by the Luciferian global elites and demons to put this out there for predictive programming about what's coming, and all the information is locked in this imagery and these codes. It's crazy. Then we also have 1113, like I've mentioned. I said 113 is a code, like this thing that a lot of people think that's got a lot of hype, that's going to be, November 3rd, and attack in Seattle and all this stuff. No, it's not. You may have some smaller things happen, maybe shootings or some other stuff, but it's really the master code is one of the codes is 113 and 1113, because what it really is if you put a mirror, see this black line is like a mirror. You put a mirror on the 3, okay, what do you get? You'll actually get 8111. Okay, so you get 111811. And so 3 mirrors itself and becomes an 8. It overlaps itself in a sense. And then you separate these and you have 1118 and 8111, really pointing to these dates, which is really the 11th of August and August 11th. Just 2 different ways of doing it. Or 118 attack code, which is the both coasts, and then 811, which is the 223rd day of the year, which breaks down into 1123. Hope you understand this. It's kind of complicated the way they do this stuff, but I've completely cracked their codes, and I'm cracking everything now. I'm cracking everything, like this atomic scientist 2 minutes to midnight clock thing. I mean, give me a break, people. I mean, why do you think you know the future and say it's 2 minutes to midnight? It's propaganda. Okay, if you're watching this video right now and you don't realize that all this stuff is propaganda, you need to wake up. I'm showing you the evidence as much as I can, the stuff that I have access to, the stuff that the Lord leads me to. It's propaganda. If you haven't figured that already, wow. You need to know this, people. You need to know this, because the world you live in is just a sugar-coated topping. There's another world beneath it, the real world, as I would quote Blade. I mean, that's what Wesley Snipes said in the movie Blade. I mean, it's absolutely true. There's truth in movies. It's a weird world that we live in when there's truth in movies and the news is fake. Anyway, moving on. And so what I'm talking to you about is 19 also being 61, and 61 being 19, upside down and backwards. Okay, now, but look at this. Look at these together. Do you notice something? This is a year, 1961. It just so happens to be Michael J. Fox's year of birth. Wow. Okay, and I was just talking about Back to the Future, and there's so many things in Gematria with Back to the Future, and I just did a small part 1. I could do a part 2 and a part 3 on Back to the Future, but I really want to get into some other things, and hopefully you got the point with that first part, which I don't know if there's going to be a second part. But look, Michael J. Fox just happens to be born in 1961, and he just happens to was born on June 9th, 1961. Give me a break. Give me a break. So, do you see here what 1961 is also? It's also 69. Okay, it's backwards, basically, with with an 11 on the ends. I mean, it's crazy, people. It's really showing you that November is the attack month as well. There's so many things going on with these codes. It's pretty phenomenal. But the chance that I was showing Michael J. Fox in his biggest role ever, the most famous and everything, going through a portal, which is 69. 69 represents the transition and the portal, basically. Okay, and that's attached to many things, including the Antichrist, Barack Obama, and things. But, so, 69, he ended up being born on June 9th, 1969. Wow, that's convenient. But it's all planned, like I said. And then it's planned that he would be, maybe because he was originally born on that day, or maybe his parents were Illuminati, or Masons or something, and then he was bred to be that on that day, or maybe he wasn't really born on that day, but they made him look like he was. I mean, who knows the whole story? I mean, we don't know. We weren't there. Whatever it is, it was planned. Okay? This is impossible for this all to match and come back around to the same people, the same things. Okay, or 1961 could be Wayne Gretzky. Could be showing Wayne Gretzky. Well, he was born in 1961, okay? And he was born on January 26th. And 126 is really 12 and 6, and 12 is really 6 plus 6. So 126 is really 6 plus 6 plus 6. 666. Or 126 is also 21 times 6. Which, if you take 21 times 6, it equals 126. And 21 times 6 is 216, which is Barack Obama's day of birth, the 216th day of the year. In 1961. Also pointing to 19. And the day of Barack Obama's birth in so many ways. And it just so happens... You could do this on so many people. There's so many celebrities that are there and their deaths and everything there because they point to the Antichrist, and there's some version of the Antichrist in their life and their mythology, in their career, all that kind of stuff. It's really crazy. In fact, what was Wayne Gretzky called? I'm not a hockey fan really, but I know this. He was called the Great One. Wayne Gretzky, because he was such a good athlete, apparently. Well, who knows how much of this is contrived. And as I know, most sports is completely rigged. But anyway, if you didn't know, you need to check that out. There's people that do stuff, gematria and stuff on this stuff, and have basically proven that all, especially pro sports and most other sports, are completely rigged to match all the numbers. Imagine that. So he's the Great One, Wayne Gretzky, and his simple gematria, just simply out in simple gematria, 118, which is the day of the birth of the Antichrist, and the attack days all in one. Well, okay, well, maybe 1961 really equals Princess Diana. Is that what it's really going for? 19 in the reverse of it, 1961, upside down and backwards of 19. Well, that's part of it. Princess Diana was her real name, her full name was Princess Diana of Wales, which in reverse English ordinal it was 327, which the 320, I told you the 326th day of the year was 1122, but the 327th day of the year is 1123. Okay? Yeah, but it's a massive coincidence upon a massive coincidence upon a massive coincidence upon a massive coincidence. I'm sorry you believe that, but that doesn't follow logic or truth of the numbers, okay? And then basically, here we go. And then I'm mixing her birth year with her death day. So her death year equals actually 116, which is 9/11 upside down and backwards. And her death day was 8/31. Or you could say 3 plus 1 is 4. You could also call it 8/4. Why? Because I'm going to talk about what I'm really getting at here. Okay, but first, I want to talk about Murder by Numbers. A song by the Police. Okay, in fact, it's AM records, which A is 1 and M is 13 in simple gematria, which again, there's the code 113 again. And then you look over here at the left middle is AM 117, which is AM is 113, and then you have 117, which is 811 again. It's crazy. 11th day, the 7th month into the year is 811. And 113, like I showed you, mirrored is 811. So it's all over the place. Oop. I don't know why. Okay, I got someone calling me there. Somewhere. Anyway, so basically, the police said it's murder by numbers. 1, 2, 3. It's easy to learn as your ABCs. And again, the reason I'm mentioning this is because Princess Diana was murdered. She was murdered by the numbers. And so I'm showing you, this is their code. They're talking about what the elites do in this song. So I'm just taking some of the lyrics. I've taken some sections of the lyrics and to show you, if you didn't know about this, it's easy to learn as your ABCs. Of course, A is 1, B equals 2, C equals 3 in simple gematria. So they're talking about 1, 2, 3, ABC. Murder by numbers, 1, 2, 3. E. It's easy to learn as your ABCs. Now, if you have a taste for this experience, if you're flushed with your very first success, then you must try a twosome or a threesome. You'll find your conscience bothers you less as far as killing 2 or 3 people. Now, it's very people that know about this and have been following this like me. Typically, famous people die, or they're ritualistically killed in 2s and 3s, and it seems like more often it's in 3s. That's what he's alluding to here. Now you can join the ranks of the illustrious in history's great dark hall of fame. All our greatest killers were industrious, at least the ones that we all know by name. So the famous people, yeah, they got there for a reason. But you can reach the top of your profession if you become the leader of the land. For murder is the sport of the elected, and you don't need to lift a finger of your hand. And I've talked about the Bushes killing different people to become leaders. And it's very apparent that George H.W. Bush had a lot to do with Kennedy's assassination. George Bush Sr. had a lot to do with Kennedy Jr.'s assassination, and they don't know where he was for a few days when Kennedy Jr. was killed. Things like that. So this is, I'm showing you evidence right in front of your face. If you can't see this, wow. I mean, they're spelling it out, and they're in the numbers and the letters right here in front of you. So really what I'm getting at, you didn't get my hints, I kind of made it super clear, but 1961 is Barack Obama's year of birth, supposedly. I don't really believe it's his real year of birth, but it's what they want everybody to believe. So 1961, and there he is with his one eye winking and his tongue sticking out, which is he's looking forward to, and people that do this, stick their tongue out, is the Day of the Dead Sheep. And also the Day of the Dead Goats as well. But they're looking for the dead Christians because they want to kill as many as possible when the time is right. And that's the attack day I'm talking about. Okay, so there will be Christians that will go in the rapture that will be taken from harm when these attacks happen. Okay, that ones that are direct way of the tsunamis, they'll be taken out of the way if, big if, like that's in Romans 8:17, it talks about if, in Romans 8, and it builds up into 17, it says that we are all sons of God, but then we are co-heirs with Christ if, big if, we fellowship in his sufferings. Why does it say that? Because there are people that are heirs of God, they're children of God, they're born again, they've become God's children, but they're not fellowshipping in Jesus' sufferings. They're doing their own thing, their own way. They don't know Jesus, and so they'll be in harm's way, and they'll be killed if they're in the path of tsunamis. But at that point, if there's any believers that are following Jesus and who are faithful and who are going through this process with Jesus in their life, they'll be removed from harm's way, either maybe raptured at the time or moved somewhere else. I don't know. But when finally, on the day of the final destruction of the nuclear, and which is 11:23, all of the faithful, which is the bride of Christ, which is the man-child born into heaven, represented by the Revelation 12 and the Revelation 12 sign that happened, they'll be taken complete out of harm's way, and then there'll be untold amount of Christians killed at that time. And that's what they're looking forward to. That's why he's sticking his tongue out. It's the Day of the Dead Sheep, and he is the eye in the triangle, and he's doing that. And he's a president. Are you kidding me? But they all believe in this stuff. They all practice, all the presidents practice the raising of Osiris on all their inaugurations until the final one, who will be the one, which is Barack Obama. And so let me show you this code in his birthday, which is absolutely crazy. The Lord really led me to this, among many other things I've been showing you. So 8/4 is his day of birth, and then 1961 is his year. Now, again, this is a mirror. Look at this line being a mirror. It in a sense is more like if you were to put a dot there. So just imagine this is a piece of paper. The best way I can think of to explain it, and then you take a piece of paper and then stick a pencil up through that dot right there, and then kind of spin it around. And then it could be, it depends on how you look at it. It could be a 19 or 61, 19 or 61. It's basically really what it is. If you just keep spinning around, it's just a 19. It's just a 19, 19, 19. It's what they're really focusing on. Even though 61, I believe, is the 18th prime, and then 9 is the 8th prime. Is that right? I'm trying to remember. But anyway, they're very related to each other, but they're really showing the 19 here. And like I showed you, and that's how important 19 is to them and to God and stuff. Okay, so it's 19. They're showing by the year. They're showing two things. They're showing 19 in the 1900, and then they're showing 19 upside down and backwards in the year 61. But it's really ultimately showing 19. And then in the 8/4, 8 plus 4 is 12. Okay, so now flip the 61 upside down and backwards to 19. They're showing, in a sense, also establishing 19 by making two of them, but also they're showing you that there's an 11 here. Okay, this is crazy. Okay, so because in a couple ways, you see the 1 in the 1, but also 1 plus 9 is 10 in the 19, and then 1 plus 9 is 10 in the 19. You remove the zeros and you have 11. So that's the thing to show as well. So this is the whole code. It's the whole birth of the Antichrist, Barack Obama, in his birthday, which was given to the public when he was supposedly have been a baby and birthed from his mother, but he's actually really a clone. And this is not his real birthday, but they made it specifically to be this certain exact day that matched all this numerology and all these codes and everything, which is only can be done by demons in people. And working together, demons in people, in every aspect of life. Okay, but that's backwards, so it's really 11/21/19. Okay, what I just showed you was actually backwards. If you read it the right way, it spells out 11. It says 11/21/19. Which is crazy, okay? And then this is the first time I'm going to reveal this, really, the first real attack date of the USS Abraham Lincoln aircraft carrier is going to be, which is shown right here by the 19 and 19, or the 11, or the 1 and the 1, and the 2 9s added together is 18, 11/18/19. Okay, and this is what I'm saying. This is what I'm predicting based on what I see, the evidence I see. And it's just a theory at this point. This is my theory. I'm not saying it's definitely going to happen, but I'm based on the evidence I see. I'm just doing a prediction. I'm saying, hey, this could happen. And I'm predicting that the USS Abraham Lincoln will be destroyed and sink, killing a lot of people, unfortunately. I beg God to do something about this, and it just is not going to be, nothing's going to be done about it. It's all in the works by the enemy and his evil hench people. So 8, and by the way, 11/18 is 1118, and so it's a version of 8/11, of course, and 118 and all that stuff. It depends on how you look at it. But then 3 days later, from 11/18, as you can see here, 3 days later, and I believe also Barack Obama's possibly going to be killed on that day. And I'm going to bring a lot more evidence from iPad Goat and things on my next video, probably. Or it'll be the video after that, and then I'll bring 2 parts of iPad Goat. I'm not sure exactly when I'm going to do it. I might do it in another week and a half, or week, or something like that. I'm not sure. It's all his timing and everything. But what I'm saying right now, and just take this into understanding, is that I'm saying, based on the evidence I see, okay, and I'm not saying I know for sure. I'm saying based on what I see, but you wait till I bring all the evidence I have on the next few videos. It's going to blow your mind. It's going to be so uncanny and weird, and we'll see what happens on that day. Okay, but right now I'm predicting that, loosely predicting that. Not only is the USS Abraham Lincoln aircraft carrier going to be destroyed and sink on that day, but also possibly the USS Harry S. Truman, because it matches completely in gematria, and I don't know how that's going to all play out. I have no idea, but I think both it could be twin attacks on twin aircraft carriers, which shows that in iPad Go, and I'm going to show that to you soon. And then it also shows that the Antichrist as a child, represented as a child, is going to be killed on that day and then raised from the dead. So so what I'm going to show you is my best evidence that I think possibly Barack Obama will be killed on that day at the same time, wherever he'll be. I don't know. It'll be the same day the aircraft carriers are attacked. Both of those is my best guess. When I see the information I see, he'll be killed, and then 3 days later he'll come back, supposedly, right? Not really, it's all staged. Supposedly 3 days later on 11/21, which will be his birth in a sense, like he's the false Christ. He was crucified and then came back to life 3 days later. Would be 11/21/19 will also be his day of birth, and then 2 days later would be 11/23/19, which would be his ultimate day of birth, christened by fire with nuclear and everything. But anyway, I'm not going to get into all that right now, but I'm going to show you evidence. So I'm I'm revealing my first attack day, which is going to be 21 days from now, or 3 weeks from this today. Okay, this is crazy for me to say all this and to put this all out here and to hold this information I've been shown and given. But I don't know. I'm just using the best I know, what I've been led to do. And so I'm throwing it out there to you. Okay, take it with a grain of salt, or just wait until the day and we'll see what happens. I'm not saying it's definitely going to happen. I'm trying to read the information that has been shown to me and the stuff I'm researching, with a combination of what the Lord's been showing me, what evidence is showing, like an investigator or like a prosecutor might take a case and go, okay, this is the verdict. This is what it says to me. Okay, and we'll see if I'm right or not. I don't know. Okay, and I'm not saying I am, but we'll see. And if I am, then this is, if 18 rolls around, the 18th rolls around, and this stuff happens, wow, just that is massive evidence that the 21st or the 23rd are going to be amazing, crazy, ridiculous days. So, okay. So, and then last thing I want to show you is, here is this, I call him all kinds of names. One is Beelzebub Butthead, because I can't stand the guy, and he is a bad, I could call him way worse names, but I'm going to be very reasonable calling him Beelzebub Butthead, the Lord of the whatever. Okay. Because he is evil to the core, and I know a lot about him. I've researched him for a long time, and I know things about him that most people don't. And here he is, being himself and showing who he really is in a mirror. And again, they like to mirror things, as I've showed you in this whole video. He's in a mirror, and in the actual mirror, the mirror image is what you're seeing. So you're seeing his true self in the mirror, but what you see, that he shows to everybody in the meeting and everything, you see this supposedly nice guy and he's cool and everything, but in the mirror, the real reflection of him, he is evil, and he's showing that he's doing all the Illuminati stuff. And when people do that, like OK sign over their eye, close one eye and stick a tongue out, or some version of that, that's the 666. Is also two fingers are closed, and that's 2-3, which is the 623, which is the day of his birth as well. It's many, many things the Lord has shown me. So he is evil to the core, and he will contain Lucifer at some point on his birth, and maybe on 11/21. Okay, so anyway, this is what I'm saying, and then I want to, right after this, right now on this video, in just a second here, I'm going to put a video of this lady Aileen, who is a serial killer, and I'm putting this to emphasize this time frame I'm talking about. Okay, this year. Okay, and because, and she's she definitely has mental issues, of course, but she's a victim, I'm sure, of MK Ultra, of mind control. And she says many things in this interview that you're going to see here in a second that allude to that, and you decide. But what she says at the end of this video, this about 8-minute video, whatever it is, I can't remember, maybe I don't have it right, but somewhere 8 to 10 minutes, I don't remember. What she says at the end of this video will shock you if you've never seen it. And what she says based on the things I've already said to you in this video, okay? And somehow she knew something. Somehow she knows something, either through demons or through the people who are handling her or whatever. But she says many things that show me, people who are discerning and know what to look for, that she has been manipulated and she knows what she's talking about to some degree. And then she's come to the Lord also. Of course, she's extremely rough around the edges, being a brand new believer and everything like I was. But you can't look at that. You got to look at what she says. Her wild eyes and everything look crazy and everything at times, but listen to what she says more than how she looks, because people judge on looks so much, and they need to listen to what she says. So I think it's very valid what she's saying, and I believe she's going to be completely right. And by the way, this interview was done in 2002. Keep that in mind as well. It was 17 years ago this interview was done. So without further ado, let's go to that. Okay, I just had to show you something real quick. I was going to include it in the video and I completely forgot, so I have to throw this in here real quick before I show you that video from, I think it was Aileen Wuornos, who is that serial killer that was definitely a victim of MK Ultra, and I'll show that here in a second. But first, I want to cover something I wanted to get out to you on this video, and that is Barack Obama. Of course, his name comes from what Jesus said in Luke 10:18. He said, I beheld Satan as lightning falling from the heavens. Okay, so a lot of you that don't know, that comes from Hebrew. Okay, and so in Hebrew, that what Jesus said was lightning falling, which is barak, or lightning flashing or falling is barak. And then u is the transition of from, okay, is you say it's as u. And then from the heavens or from the heights is Bama. Okay, so if you have lightning falling from the heights or lightning falling from heaven, it's Barak U Bama. Okay, and right here, there's a picture here, and this is something I pulled off the internet. I found some of this stuff before, and I wanted to show you a good glimpse of it in one slide here. Someone put this together. And there's a picture that I had seen as well of Barack Obama in a Baphomet or a Satan costume. And there was some kind of ritual that was going on in Chicago at the time. There's a lot of evidence of this. In fact, he's standing right next to Arthur Davis, which is a congressman that he's been pals with for years and years, and they've been together at different things, even when he was a congressman, I think. So anyway, there's a lot of evidence of that. I want to give you a little bit of backstory if you didn't know about that, about the picture. The photo, which provides a behind-the-scenes glimpse into the real world inhabited by Barack Obama, was originally uploaded on Instagram by Anne-Marie Hope, an artist who has been recognized for her work promoting Satanism and is known as a favorite of the international elite. The photo appeared with the caption, "Class and Grace, you are my favorite," and it soon went viral on Instagram. However, Anne-Marie Hope quickly deleted the disturbing glimpse into the private life of Barack Obama, claiming that she was receiving too much hate and not enough support. And like I said, there's a lot of evidence that that was correct. That image has not been altered. There's just a lot of evidence of that as I've studied and looked into it more in the past. So, and then I've shown this and other pictures and other evidence of Barack Obama, how he is a clone of Akhenaten, the Egyptian king. In fact, Akhenaten, if you study his history and his past and you really dig deep, you'll find out he was an Assyrian, originally from Assyria. Excuse me. And so that's what makes the Assyrian that the Bible talks about, the Antichrist. And so there's a lot of people that people think of the Antichrist, and there's no Assyrianness in them. In fact, Barack Obama is not actually black. He doesn't come from Africa whatsoever. That's just a story. His complexion and his look and everything is Middle Eastern. It is Assyrian. He does wear a ring that says there's only one God, Allah, things like that. And so he is Assyrian through and through, because he's kind of a little bit of a mixture, but I have a lot of evidence of that. And I'm about to reveal some other evidence that's pretty amazing and is impossible for it to be. So you look at this picture right here, and I've shown that, and I've shown this pretty much, and how he's a spitting image of Akhenaten, even though, like I said, he's a little bit of mixture of DNA, but mostly Akhenaten, because he has to be a descendant of an Egyptian pharaoh, and he has to be he has to be a Jew of some quality, from the right tribe and everything like that. He has to have all the qualities. So he has everything that is required, and that only way you can really do that, and have somebody who's in on everything and who's run by the CIA and everything, and who was a president, who knows all the technology, who knows all the secrets. He's got to be a president. Hello. American presidents have all the technology and all the understanding more than anybody else, and the power and everything. So basically, let me just show you this. This is really crazy. So he is this a version of Akhenaten, and here's more proof. So if you take Barack Obama in English gematria, okay, just like it's spelled out in Hebrew, translated into English, just like it is, genuinely right there, that's 474 in English gematria. And are you ready for this? Akhenaten is the same in English gematria. Exactly. That's absolutely impossible. And it even more proves what I've said, that he is a clone. Okay. There's so many other things. I mean, one thing I've touched on is in his presidential portrait, when it shows his hand, he's hiding a sixth finger, which is classic of Nephilim DNA, which he has as well. So there's just a number of things that are going on. If you dive into the subject at all, you'll find out, what the truth is. So I wanted to bring this evidence to you that this is impossible for these two to match, even especially after I've said this and I've explained that Barack Obama doesn't have a real birth certificate, and that's been proven by 2 houses of certification, one in Europe, one in the United States. He doesn't have a social security number. The one he has is from a dead man that lived in the 20s or something. And if you do any kind of research, you'll find all this out. I mean, seriously, the people that don't know any of this stuff, haven't done any research, and don't know how to find the truth. And so Barack Obama doesn't exist as a person, because he's a clone. So I just wanted to let you know about that. And so it's more evidence to show that he is the Antichrist, and he will pop up back on the scene. Like I said, he will be killed at some point probably, and then he will come back to life, supposedly, right? So without further ado, I'm going to go into this video with Aileen Wuornos. Okay, and so here we go.
I was just wondering how you're going to be, at 9:30 tomorrow morning. Are you prepared?
I'm prepared. I'm all right. I'm all right with it.
And how?
I'm all right with it, but like I said, remember, let them know that I know that the cops knew who I was. After Richard Mallory died, I left prints everywhere, and they covered it up and let me kill the rest of those guys to turn me into a serial killer. I know they did, because I was no professional serial killer or anything, murderer, or whatever you want to call it, I wasn't professional at what I was doing.
Eileen,
I did some sloppy work, and I left
How have you prepared yourself for tomorrow morning?
I'm all right with it. Yeah, I'm ready to go. Hey, I was tortured at BCI. They had the intercom on in the room, and they kept lying that it wasn't on, and they were using sonic pressure on my head since 1997.
Sonic pressure?
And every time I was trying to write something, I think they had some kind of eye in the cell, I'm not sure, but every time I started writing something, it went up higher. So I'm thinking that probably had the TV rigged. The TV or the mirror, something was rigged. They got a huge satellite on the compound. After they put the huge satellite on the compound, it could have been either rigged to the TV set or the mirror or something, because the electrician, when he put the mirror on the wall, he said, doesn't that look like a computer? The back of it, and he stuck it to the wall.
And do you think, did that affect your mind, do you think?
Huh?
Did that affect your mind in some way, the sonic
It was crushing my head, and they were using sonic pressure continually. Then when I had 3 meetings with Miss Villacorta on it, every meeting I had, she increased the pressure of the volume of the comm, increased the harassment on the floor, increased the trays being inedible, just increased every bit of my complaints and trashed all grievances. They're trying to make it look like I was crazy at all times, rig up the room with torture. If I said anything about I think their whole plan was to try to make it look like I was totally crazy, and so nobody would believe anything I had to say about anything, and then drive me there if they could. I suffered so bad. I was really struggling to survive. Had a lot of trays that were attempted murder and everything. I had to wash all my food off. And then one day I didn't wash my food off, and I was sick for 3 weeks, almost died.
But you're okay now.
I'm okay. I'm okay. God is going to be there. Jesus Christ is going to be there. All the angels and everything. And, you know, whatever's on the beyond. I think it's going to be more like Star Trek, beaming me up into a space vehicle, man. Then I move on, recolonize to another planet or whatever. But it's whatever's the beyond. I know it's going to be good because I didn't do anything as wrong as they said. I did the right thing. And I saved a lot of people's butts from getting hurt and raped and killed too.
So are you saying that you killed in self-defense or in cold blood? What do you, because you've changed your story. I'm just trying to
What are you talking about? Change story on what?
No, about whether it was self-defense or not.
I'm not going to say it, you know, I'm not going to get in depth about my cases, Nick. I'm on my way to the chamber, nothing stopping it. You can believe it or you don't have to believe it. That's up to you, man. Put a big question mark on your film.
What more is there to say about the cops? What more do you want to say about the cops?
A lot of stuff. Did you know that they were surveilling me before I killed? And then I knew it? And that it was covered up? Did you know there was helicopters dropping down from the sky, deputy sheriff, with decoys picking me up 4 or 5 months before my arrest? It was covered up?
But nonetheless,
nobody ever asked me these questions.
Whether the cops were following you or not, Eileen.
Oh, whether the cops were following me or not, Eileen,
okay,
what?
let's say the cops were following you.
Yeah.
Let's say they were following you and they did everything that you're saying they did.
Uh-huh.
Nonetheless,
yeah.
You killed 7 men.
Yes, you did.
And I'm asking you, what got you to kill the 7 men?
And I'm telling you, because the cops let me keep killing them, Nick. Don't you get it?
Not everybody is killing 7 people. So there must have been something in you that was getting you to do that.
Oh, you are lost, Nick.
So
I was a hitchhiking hooker.
Right.
Running into trouble. I shoot the guy if I ran into trouble. Physical trouble. The cops knew it. When the physical trouble came along, let her clean the streets, and then we'll pull her in.
But
that's
how come
why.
there was so much physical trouble in because it was all in 1 year. 7 people in 1 year.
Oh well. Oh well.
But why not say now?
Because I'm out of retaliation for taking my life like this and getting rich off it all these years in total pathological lying. Yeah, thanks a lot. I lost my fucking life because of it. Couldn't even get a fair trial. Couldn't even get a fair investigation or nothing. Couldn't even have my appeals right. You sabotaged my ass, society, and the cops, and the system. A raped woman got executed. It was used for books and movies and shit. Ladder climbs, the election, everything else. I got a big finger in all your faces. Thanks a lot. You're an inhumane bunch of fucking living bastards and bitches, and you're gonna get your asses nuked in the end. And pretty soon it's coming. 2019, a rock's supposed to hit you anyhow. You're all gonna get nuked. You don't take fucking human life like this and just sabotage and rip it apart like Jesus on the cross and say thanks a lot for all the fucking money I made off of you. And not care about a human being and the truth being told. Now I know what Jesus was going through. They've been trying to tell the truth, and I keep getting it stepped on. Concerned about if I was raped, I'm not giving you book and movie info. I'm giving you info for investigations and stuff, and that's it. We're going to have to cut this interview, Nick. I'm not going to go into any more detail. I'm leaving. I'm glad. Thanks a lot, society, for railroading my ass. Okay, let's go.
It was really pretty incredible that Aileen had just sailed through the psychiatric test the day before. It makes you wonder what you'd have to do to fail.